Hello, Mr. Terry. Almost didn't get myself in there at the heat of the moment there. Welcome back
Hey,
to Horse Racing Today with your host, HRT Rich. You can find me over there at Twitter. And then, of course, we have the tremendous Hollywood Hay to start this Monday over at Parx. How was your weekend?
it was good, really good. Kids came over yesterday, watched the 49ers get beat by 1 point, but it was like a preseason game anyway. It wasn't really mean anything. So it was fun, though, visiting with the kids.
And now they have a week off, and as do the Baltimore Ravens, and then the rest of the NFL that made the playoffs. They get to move forward. So that should be a lot of fun for the NFL fans. Hopefully, we'll have a lot of fun here today, Terry, in a race day that only has two tracks running today. One at Mahoning Valley, one here at Parx. So that's what you and I are going to cover, Terry. We'll start off with race number 1 at Parx. Let me pull up the particulars. You can share with us what the story is going to be all about here.
Yeah, it's a mile and 16th. It's a $7,500 claiming race. First 20,000 for 4-year-olds and upwards, which have not won a race since October 8th.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of races in the beginning of this card that are going routes, some distances. The first one, as you mentioned, Terry, is a mile and a 16th. The profile of a winner at that distance favors stalkers. 29% of the time, however, they do run wire to wire. The rail plays fair for Macabib. 2 and 3 get a little bit of a bonus. 4 and 7, 4, 5, 6, and 7, excuse me. Big penalty. Then finally, if you wear an 8 and out, that's the best place to be, Terry. At a mile and a 16th, we've done 1,000 simulations for race number 1. Taking first off a look at speed figures to generate our own simulated odds. We want our simulated odds to be lower than post-time odds. We also look at those numbers to see which one of these horses have the best chance, what percent chance to have to run above par for a speed figure, being 84 here at Parx for the distance and the conditions. We also look at speed. We want to know who's got a chance to be on the lead. We project that out on 1,000 races. And then based upon those 1,000 races, created our own comfort zone or C-zone score that tells you how comfortable these horses are likely to be. So how much this race mirrors their best performances. Terry, what do you see in the numbers?
Well, several of these have speed, but the 7 shows the most speed. And then as part of the overlay, the 2 has a small overlay from 5 to 1 to 6 to 1, and then the 3 has an overlay from even money to 6 to 1. As far as par numbers, I mean all but the 8 and 9 have some par numbers. Mm-hmm. And all of them show some C-zone numbers except for that 3 has and 8.
Yeah, just kind of looking at the one that checks the most boxes. You got to kind of look at the 7 here. Mega Charlie. I don't have a Mega Charlie in my picks, as you can see, but decent C-zone scores. Should be up on the lead. Somewhat comfortable up there. Good chance to go par plus. Pretty fair value in terms of odds. Along with our simulations, we do old-fashioned pace handicapping, where the horses like to be when they win, or their best performances. You can see a bunch of them want to be middle and forward. Situation like this, you might want a horse with a little bit of late speed or the speed of the speed. We do see that 4 of them are pretty close together, the 3, the 2, the 6. So the one that kind of doesn't fit in here is the 2 horse. It's an EP type, compilot or co-pilot. It might sit behind this wall. Let them run it out. Of the speed horses, Look Out Lambeau might be a bit pressed. You got all these back in here, Terry, that could sit right off a pace. That could get kind of hot. Run by at the end. Looks like so, folks. The 3 horse, which should be in that mix, has an 11-point late speed advantage over everybody. So if that one's sitting 3rd or 4th, the length are so off the leaders, might be very difficult to hold it off at the end, and does have a 5-point total pace advantage over the rest of these horses. Jerry, you don't have the 3. I have the 3, so perhaps this is an open one to start.
Yeah, it could be. I like that 6 social group. He finished 3rd in his last race, has the highest percentage winning trainer and jockey. Mega Charlie, the 7's my second choice. He likes Parx racing, finishing the money 63% of the time, winning 27% of the starts. He's finished in the money 50% of the time at today's distance, and he's won 11% of those starts. The 4 is my 3rd pick. Drops in class today, has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey, and my long shot's Hidden Promise to 2. He won his last race at Parx Racing, has the highest speed figure at today's distance, and he has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. I do believe believe this is wide open. I'm going to use a $1 daily double. I'm going to use the 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8 with the 4.
So you just take the 5 and the 9, folks, and stick them in an exacta and come home free. I am going to start off with that 3-horse Sophos. It does have a big overlay in there that we mentioned, 6-1 morning line. Our odds say should be closer to even money. It's about 5-1 right now, too. Does have that top total pace, 5 points clear, so that's about a length better than everybody else. And does have the best par plus, about a 60% chance it'll run above our number needed at this level. Number 5, it's game time. This one's been off since November the 20th. Does have some decent workouts getting prepped for today. And the last time the horse took some time off and came back to work, he won by 9. So that made it pretty easy work of the field. Number 6, Social Group, your top pick, my third pick. This one, Terry, has a case of thirditis. Finished third, 3 races in a row. So that's 3-3-3. I don't know. Does that win you anything in a slot machine, Terry? I know you need 7-7-7.
Yeah, that's it.
Is that the only thing? I don't do slots, but
no, I don't play them either. They bore me.
Yeah, I don't want just one big right arm and one skinny left arm. Anyway, the Social Group did run final time last time about 2 seconds quicker than it did in its prior start. That's a good sign of a horse coming to form. And then that one horse that I said, just toss them out altogether. Look out, Lambeau. Maybe you should leave that one in there after all. Much better early pace in its last race, and I think it's one that has room to improve in its third start after a layoff. I have a Superfecta L. I guess I'm already predicting it's going to lose, huh? All right. Anyway, that's supposed to be the right like that. I'm going to go with the 3-5 with the 3-5. I'm going to put all in the third leg, and then I'm going to go 6-8. They both can't finish third, so one of them has to finish fourth, right?
That's right.
Let's see how that plays out. Right now, we got about, well, looks like they're getting pretty close to the run that first race at Parx. So let's see what happens here as they're loading up. Right now, the 5-horse, Terry, is the favorite, one of the few that you don't have in your picks. I don't know if you have any money left. You want to just toss that one in there real quick?
I don't.
Do you have $1 left?
No.
No, he spent all of his money. Looks like it's a pretty sunny day there in Bensalem, Pennsylvania. Looks like the 2-horse is the next choice, Hidden Promise at 7-2. Then you have a trio of horses, the 3, the 4, and the 7 as horses with 5-1 odds. A few horses left to go. I don't know if they're having any problems loading any particular horse. No, they've gone to the front camera view, so they're expecting the 9. It looks like the 9 and the 5 need to load, and then they'll be ready to get going. The 5-horse continues to be the favorite at the moment. And then, he's becoming a heavy favorite now, down to 9-5. The next closest horse is 2-horse at 9-2. So looks like they're expecting the 5-horse on the grounds there to do well, Terry. Let's see if that is indeed the case in a race that looks pretty open. Pretty good start for everybody to get off to a good week here, Terry. The 2-horse broke the sharpest. The 7-horse, the one we thought would be a part of the early lead, has moved up alongside the 2. Both of them are interestingly kind of up the track a little bit as they go through the turn there. Now they're kind of coming down a little bit. The 2 really never went down to the rail, just kind of stayed out in like the 4th lane. Those 2 horses continue to lead about 2 lengths in front of the 3-horse right now. Sophos sitting in the 5-horse now, sitting in 3rd. Then the 3-horse on the rail. You go through the opening quarter in 23-2. I have a feeling that's a little bit on the quick side for the 2 and the 7. We'll find out if speed can hold up with those fractions. The 1 horse all the way in the back there, I can't see. Was it the 4-horse maybe? Shigu Star, way off the pace. They ran through the opening half in 47-3, still a little on the quick side, I feel like, Terry. A long shot. Looks like it has moved into the 9-horse. Is that the 9-horse? Yeah, the long shot. The 9-horse is starting to run away from everybody right now. The 5-horse is kind of struggling on the rail. Comes the 8-horse, Terry. So no one has that 9, right? You got the 8 in your picks. The 8's coming pretty good too.
Yeah, I just have the 8 and not the 9.
So it looks like the 9-horse at 10-1 going to be maybe your winner. I don't know. The 5-horse trying to come up the rail, not going to happen, I don't think. Yeah, it looks like the 9-horse maybe your 8-horse at 13-1, Terry. It's trying to make a move.
Well,
that 4-horse that was way off the pace is coming pretty aggressively now. I think the 4-horse is going to be the one that has a chance. The 8's not going to catch him. I think it's going to go 9, and then I don't know if it's going to be the 4 or the 3. I think the 4 is going to finish second.
Of
It's
course,
going to go 9, 4, and then maybe a 9, 4, and then maybe a dead heat for third. What did we not see in that 9 horse there, Terry?
I don't know. There's 2 horses I didn't use, and that 9 was one of them. So,
Well, let's look at that 9 right quick and see what did we miss. Going to drop in class. Okay, well, it dropped in half by 50%, right?
yeah.
Hasn't run at this level. That last race was pretty bad, but to show any improvement anywhere last race, not really.
He had
Yeah,
trouble.
kind of hard to come off of that one there, Terry.
Yeah, he had trouble at the gate, as it said, fractious at the gate. So in the last start, so
Yeah, the 3 races before that, though, just from a speed figure standpoint, were probably close enough. That have some backlash back here. So, I mean, you could have taken that one if you wanted to for a trainer that's putting his first horse out for the year and a jockey that's trying for the first time at the year, too.
yeah.
It would have been a pretty aggressive call. Hopefully somebody has it, Terry. I know you and I didn't have it.
Nope.
The track doesn't look muddy to me. Yeah, it doesn't look muddy at all either to me. Scary
Nope.
Creation. Looks actually kind of sunny out there. So it did look like it played a little bit heavy, though. Those horses kind of really struggling that were up front. All right, Terry, hopefully we don't struggle in race number 2 like we struggled in race number 1. What are we looking at here?
It's a 1.8 miles. That's a claiming race, $7,500 claiming price, $21,000 purse. It's for 4-year-olds and upwards, which have never won 2 races.
At a 1.1 miles, the profile of a winner tends to favor horses that, if I can get the right sheet of paper open here, are closers. They've only run this 8 times, Terry. So that, considering how many races they run there, that's really a few. 2 of the 8 have gone wire to wire. There is a very strong inside 3 bias. 4 through 7, a little bit of a penalty. So far, nobody that's worn the 8 or higher has managed to score the W yet. So speed is not really that big of a factor, Terry, but it's Parx. It still could be. Where is the speed?
Well, as you see, this is another race with several horses that show some speed, but that 7 again shows the most speed. As far as the overlays go, the 4 has an overlay from 4 to 5 to like 8 to 5. And then par numbers, none of them have any par numbers except for the 4, which is 25.9. And then all of them but the 1 and 7 show some C-zone numbers.
Yeah, especially the 9 horse. They go back-to-back 9s with the top C-zone score there. Looking at our, see here, the lone P horse in that race too. Here I am. Really not all that far off the group there, but still looking at this race shape. Most people want to be middle back, Terry. So that should give the ones that are up front, maybe that 9 might have a shot here. Should give the ones that are up front, even though it's a closer's bias, some edge. The 2 horse looks like it's a little bit quicker than the rest. The 4 horse here is also one that should be up front. He's a closer. We call those left arrow horses. Closers that have enough early speed to compete early on. Late speed at a distance where late speed wins. Bow in the back, along with Liberty Runner. Those 2 are considerably quicker than everybody else down the lane. Just can't be as far off as the 4 was in the opener there, Terry. And then finally, the 4 horse here, along with the 1 and the 2. So those inside horses, Terry, on an inside bias, they're right there. Maybe those 3 are an exact trifecta combination. What do you think?
Well, I like that 4 horse, AFY Kid. He ran second versus similar in his last race as a favorite, but he has a trainer who wins 28% of the races when he brings a favorite back to race again, and the highest last speed rating. Bad Bobby, the 2 is my second choice, finished, he has a high percentage winning trainer, which wins 18% of the claiming races he has the horses entered in, and his best start speed is fastest among today's starter. The 3, Union Reward, he finished 3rd versus similar in his last race. And number 7, Liberty Runner, is my long shot, can improve while returning to a route. I'm going to play a 50-cent pick 4. I'm going to single the 4. Then I go with the 1, 3, 5, 6 with the 3, 5, 7, 8, and then finish up with the 2, 10.
I'm going to also start with the 4 horse here, Terry. Is it AFY Kid? Affy Kid? I'm not sure, but it is that left arrow horse. It is the lone par plus. And last time out, its speed figure was 8 points clear of the next closest horse. It means they all have to come up, or this one's got to regress, or some combination thereof. Bad Bobby stretching out today should be helpful for a horse. Going to be part of the early speed in here, Terry, and does have some late speed to help it at the end. Bow in the back should be rolling at the end of this race, Terry, and has a rail advantage. Those inside 3 horses do really well, as we mentioned, in the 8 races they've run so far. Liberty Runner, this one could be your pace setter, Terry, although on paper, it really doesn't look like that. But I guess what the numbers tell us. I'm going to go single to start out my pick for. Single to 4, single to 3, then go 3, 5, 7, and then go 2, 5, 7, 10 on the back end. Again, this is one of those cards, Terry, where I feel like, I don't know, did you find a whole lot of horses in here you were really confident in?
No. Well, a couple in the later races.
Yeah, I didn't really feel comfortable about a lot of them. Race number 3, we're going to go another route. This one a little bit different than the rest.
Yep, it's a mile and 70 yards. It's maiden claiming, $25,000 claiming price, $26,000 purse for maiden fillies and mares, 4-year-olds and upward. The
kind of horse that typically wins at a mile and 70 yards. Has some early speed, Terry. 28% of the time they go wire to wire. Small rail edge for me. So lucky. Everybody else is pretty fair, 2 and out. So a little bit of inside speed could be a difference maker, Terry, in race number 3. And it looks like, well, one of them is a jet.
Yeah, that's right. That 3 shows lots and lots of speed, and nobody else shows much at all. And then the 5 has an overlay from about 4 to 5 to like 5 to 2. And then par numbers, there's no par numbers here at all. And then the 5, 4, 1 are the C-zone numbers.
And our pace setup for race number 3, we see, well, the 1, 2, and 7, that trio so far in their careers hasn't managed to be within 5 lengths of the leader at the finish wire. The 3, 4, 5, and 6, the ones that have done something in their careers, they are closers, Terry. So a lot of times these sort of races are won up front. It's a lot of times you see how a maiden finally get the win. Jet's Dream does look a little bit quicker than everybody else, 6 points, so about a length quicker than Snow Lake, about 2 lengths quicker than Her Ticket to Ride. So the 3 should get to the front without a whole lot of stress to get there. Late speed, Wine Goddess. Well, from what I can tell, most goddesses like wine, along with Mamma Mia Estorina, the rhyme. Those 2 a little bit quicker than everybody else as they're coming down the stretch. Our top total pace here, horse Terry, is Jet's Dream, 2 lengths clear of Wine Goddess and Her Ticket to Ride. So it looks like maybe you could single up that 3 if you're a total pace player, Terry. You picked it 3rd. I did put it on top.
Well, I like the 5, Mamma Mia Estorina. She finished 3rd versus similar in her last race, and her best start speed is fastest among today's starters. The 1 is my second choice, Me So Lucky. Finished 2nd versus similar in her last race. Jet's Dream, the 3 is my 3rd pick, drops in class today, has the highest last speed rating, and a trainer wins 26% of the time when running a horse in a route for the first time. And then I like as my long shot, the 6, Snow Lake. She has a high percentage winning trainer, and this trainer wins 17% of the races in the second start with the trainer. I'm not going to make any bets in this race.
The 3-horse Jet's Dream, Terry, is the only, if I remember correctly, maiden special weight dropper in the field. Does have a 6-point early speed, top total pace by about 10 points. We saw that. And maybe just a little too fast for all the rest of these horses on that maiden special weight drop. Your top pick, Mamma Mia Estorina, does have the most back class in this field. And on a fast track, boy, this one's been close so far, Terry. 7 times out, no wins, 3 seconds, 3/3. And as Scary Creation says, it doesn't look muddy there. It looks pretty quick to me as far as the track surface. It looks like a fast day to me. The next pick for me in this race is the 6-horse. Snow Lake, like you like that one too, Terry. All of its race internals were better across the board last out. And this is one that getting a little bit of additional distance today could work to its benefit. And then finally, the 4-horse, making the classic 3rd start after a layoff. Terry, last time the horse ran a Z pattern. So let me show you real quick what I mean by that. You see right here that the horse ran a 69 on the early pace. It dipped to 57 and then popped back up to 68. So you have high, low, high, second wind coming down the stretch. Let's see if that can be something that in the 3rd start after layoff puts the horse, maybe not in the winner's circle, but in your exactas, in trifectas, as our good friend Tom would like to say. Going to win? Nah. But finishing the money? Absolutely. That's why we put it in there. Race 3, these horses are terrible. The 3 going to be a big favorite, 0 for 4, never hit the board, ran 2 races in 22, 20 and 22 and 2023. Last year did not take money at all. Even got Paco once. Yeah, but I agree with you, though. The lone made a special weight drop or enough class break right there. Going to take the shot with the 2. Only failed once, but Scary hates this race. Let's go look at that 2 horse there, Terry. Her ticket to ride. Yeah, I mean, the horse didn't really do much in there. Maiden claiming 30, so a little bit of a drop in there, too. Has since that race only 1 workout. Would have liked to see more workouts, too, but you don't know what it's doing quietly over there. Trainer did win 4 out of 10 races so far when he's getting this sort of a break. So let's see if that 2 horse can maybe pop at a price for Scary. If, like Scary, you have some ideas that you want to share, please kindly hit us up in the comment section. It helps us with the algorithm and keeps Terry and I sharp, so to speak. As you know, we old guys, we need brain riddles, right, to stave off old ageness or something. All right, first time we're going to run a sort of sprint. That's tweener sprint. Is it a route? Is it a sprint? 7 furlongs, Terry? What is it?
It's kind of what I think they consider
it a sprout?
Sprint. Sprout, yeah. 7 furlongs. It's an optional claiming race of $25,000. Purse $26,000 for 4-year-olds and upwards, which have started for $16,000 or less, which have never won 3 races, or claiming price of $25,000, which have never won 3 races.
Yes, we're back in Philadelphia where they have to repeat that not once, not twice. Maybe they should do it 3 times just to be clear on it. 7 furlongs. This one does have one of the most obvious biases at Parx, Terry. There's a rail bonus. And then as you move away from the rail, it gets worse and worse. So there's definitely an inside to outside edge. Stalkers do best at 7 furlongs, although 29% of the time they go wire to wire. So a little bit of inside tactical speed in race number 4 looks like the way to the winner's circle. One of them is a little bit quicker than the rest on the inside.
Yeah, that's right, that 3. But that 7 also has some speed, so it might have something to say about it. 2 has a small overlay of 7 to 1 to 8 to 1. The 7 has an overlay from about 2 to 1 to 9 to 2, and the 9 has a really nice overlay from almost 6 to 1 to 20 to 1. All but the 1, 4, and 5 have par numbers, and most of the horses in the have C zone numbers, but the 8, 7, and 6 have the best.
Yeah, those 3 stand out from all of the others in here. Really, just looking at our simulations, the one that kind of checks off the most boxes is the 7. Carbonite, pace figures, again, I mean, pace, race shape. You got 3 that want to be on the front, 2 here that are a little versatile. So if the 2 or the 4, they can play pilot or co-pilots. If the 3, 6, and 7 are too fast early, they'll sit behind them. If they're too slow, they'll get them going. The rest of the field wants to close. So if the early pace is modest, it should favor the horses in the front. Sustenance, the 6 horse, Kenner, Professor Cool. I mean, they're all right in there, Terry. All those horses that we put pilot or co-pilot, that's exactly where they'll want to be. The closers are exactly where they want to be. In the end, if it is a closer's race, Terry, it does look like Warrior's Vendetta, a little bit faster than Carbonite, which is a front runner up in there, Terry. So it could be very difficult to catch what you can't pass or pass what you can't catch, whichever way I should have put that. Carbonite does have a little bit of an edge over the closer, Professor Cool, and Kennel, the other front runner, along with Sustenance. They might be there too at the end on a total pace basis. Looking at this race, we have some agreement, some disagreement. Terry, what do you got?
I like the 3 Kenner as my first choice, finishing the money in 4 out of the last 5 races. When one of those races has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. Achilles Hill, the 8 is my second choice, finished 3rd versus Tougher in his last race, drops in class today. Carbonite, the 7, he ran 2nd versus Simon in his last race, but he has a trainer who wins 24% of the time when bringing a beaten favorite back to race again. Has the highest last speed rating, Professor Cool, the 5 is my long shot, finished 3rd versus similar in his last race, and he has a high percentage winning trainer. I'm going to play a 50-cent pick 4. I'm going to use the 3, 5, 7, 8 with the 2, 10 with the 3, 5, 7, 8, and finish up with a 1, 7.
Yeah, as for me, I'm going to start with that 7 horse, the one I mentioned, checks off a ton of boxes. Carbonite, this one should be forwardly placed, has some of the most late speed, and does have that top last race speed figure, by about 3 points. So again, Andrew Beyer mentioning in his books about speed numbers that a horse that has a 3-point edge over the rest of the field is one that you have to pay serious consideration to. Kenner, Jamie Ness, Ruben Silvera. You can never overlook that combination at Parx, especially for a horse that's making its first start since November 9th. In that last workout, going to the track, a bullet, and then it goes to work. Professor Cool, the 5-horse, consistent performer. Last time out, held its speed longer into the race. That's a sign to me of a horse that's coming into form. Finally, Financial Strength, the 1-horse, a little bit of a shot here, does ride that rail, which is a bonus. Again, the closer you are to the rail, the better at 7 furlongs. Does have some solid late pace in here, Terry. All of the race internals were better from beginning to the end. My only concern is it's moving up in class, but you move up in class usually off a good performance. So that's a pretty positive. I like the 8 Achilles heel because the track drop, but I'm worried he's going to get left way too much work to do. In other words, off the pace. Parx isn't for everybody. That's absolutely for sure. I have a trifecta, Terry, here, 3-7, 3-5-7, over to 1, 2, 3, 5, and 7, and I don't have Achilles heel, which could prove to be my downfall for this pick.
Yeah.
Race number 5, we make our way through this 10 race card. This one, Terry, is going to be 5.5 furlongs.
Yeah, they shortened up a little more. So 5.5 furlongs, claiming $7,500 claiming price, purse $21,000. It's for fillies and mares, 4-year-olds and upwards, which have never won 4 races.
And only needed to say it once because it was crystal clear. We haven't said it once. So if you haven't done so yet, while you're here, kindly hit the subscribe button on YouTube so that we can get our way to 10,000. Only 1 out of 10 people actually hit that subscribe button. So be a winner. Hit the subscribe button. Follow us on our social sites. You see them all scrolling down there on X, which used to be Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all of them. Horse Race, the number 2 day. Our good friend Swiss Army Sean puts a lot of great information out there. So they even write articles about some of the stuff Sean's put out there I've seen. So congratulations to Sean on that. 5.5 furlongs, Terry. What we're looking for is a horse that has tactical speed and front speed. So it'd be a pilot or a co-pilot. 44% of the time they go wire to wire. It's a little bit of a rail bonus for Parisian Vibe. Parisian Vibe. Yeah, I think that's how you say it. I could be wrong. 2 and 3 get a little bit of a fair shake. 4 through 7 penalized. 8 and out, they get a bonus as well, Terry. So inside, outside speed in race number 5. And most of it is to the inside.
It is. The 4 and 3 show the most speed, although that outside horse has a little bit also. And then as overlays, the 5 has an overlay from, almost double, from 4.5 to 1 to 10 to 1. 7 goes from 4, almost 5 to 1 to 6 to 1. And the 10 shows one from about 6 to 5 to 5 to 2. Par numbers 10, 7, 5, and 4 show some par numbers. And then all the horses show C zones. The only one that doesn't have a decent one, well, there's 2 of them. There's the 3 and the 8.
Yeah, there's a few that look, but a couple look like they're going to be more comfortable than the others. Miss Alex and Road to Dreams. Those 2 look like they're a little bit more likely to get a race that they are comfortable with the fractions in. This one's pretty much dominated towards the left area. A lot of early speed in this race. You have a lone PC type in here and a lone closer. If this group right here of 7 goes too fast, these 2 should really be happy with the way this race sets up. Early on, it does look like there's a pretty good distribution of early speed. Only Miss Alex kind of not in that mix as a P horse. Everybody else within 10 points, 2 lengths. So a stumble, a block, something along those lines could really alter the path of a horse towards the front. The 10 horse is going to have a lot of work to do to clear because every horse to its inside has similar early speed. So I have to work a little too hard to get the lead. You have Miss Alex along with Road to Dreams as your top 2 closers, about a length faster than everybody else in the stretch. And then our total pace figures here, Terry, you got a bunch of horses here in a tight mix. What is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them within 5 points of each other. So pretty wide open race. I feel like it's going to probably favor a horse that's sitting in the middle with a little bit of late speed. Who did you pick?
I like the 10. Sonnet's Name is my first choice. She had a good year in 2023. She finished in the money in 4 out of 6 starts. She won 2 of those races, drops in class today, has a high percentage winning trainer who wins 23% of the time when bringing and beating favorite back to race again. And then I like 2, Astonishing Annabelle. She tries Parx racing for the second time after finishing 4th. She has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. The 4 is my third pick, has a high percentage winning trainer, and the shorter distance should help her as she has a very early foot. And then number 8, Cup of Life, finished third versus similar last race. No bet for me in this race.
I have the 2-horse is my top pick, Astonishing Annabelle. Classic third start after a layoff. Last race was a little bit better than it looks. The fractions at 6 furlongs were the same as they were at 5.5 furlongs. You run longer, but the same speed. You actually ran faster in my book. Road to Dreams, the 5-horse, a little bit of a price there, a little bit of an overlay in there, Terry, too. Pretty strong C-zone. This one showed more early speed last time out. I like that. But today, going to get a 10-pound weight break, and I looked. And the horse hasn't gotten a weight break in its last 10 races. Our friend Tom says 5 pounds equals 1 length, 5 times. So 10 divided by 5, 2 lengths faster today for Road to Dreams. Sonnet's Name, this one is a Woodbine track dropper. The only concern for me is that so far, every single one of this horse's races have been on the all-weather or on the turf. And I didn't see a solid Parx workout as it's coming down from Canada. And then the 7-horse Takes to Wiggle. Is a class dropper that did show more giddy up and go in her last race. So maybe it can hold that speed a little bit longer. Also one with a little bit of an simulation overlay. I'm going to go with the trifecta 2, 5, 10, 2, 5 over the 2, 4, 5, 7, and 10 in a race, Terry, that I feel like is pretty wide open. What do you think?
Yeah, I do too. So,
best bet of the day. Ooh, Scary Creations putting that one as best bet of the day. Cup of Life long shot of the day. Box the exacta for a few bucks. There you go. 10 and 8.
Well,
Sonnet's Name for the bet of the day, Terry.
Yeah, he likes the same horses I do in the first pick and the long shot. So
look out. Well, the other day we had a lot of early thinking together, and then Scary went off on his own way, and I continue to have good picks.
Yeah.
No, Scary does a really good job, as does everybody who puts their picks in the, it's horse racing, right, Terry? Anything can happen.
That's right.
6th race, my friend, and then we'll do this one real quick because race number 2 is about to get started.
7 furlongs, claiming $7,500, purse $21,000 for 4-year-olds and upwards, which have never won 4 races.
So you got 4s across the board there. 7 furlongs, as we mentioned. Tactical speed does good. Inside to outside on the post position bias. So in race number 6, Terry, outside speed we do see.
Yeah, 11 has the most speed, and the 7 and the 4 show some speed also. The 3 has an overlay from 2 to 1 to 9 to 2, and the 5 has an overlay from about 8 to 5 to 3 to 1. Par numbers 5, 3, 1, 2, 9 have par numbers, and then all but the 3 and 9 have good C-zone numbers.
Yeah, just real quick, if you're just joining us for the first time, that means the 42% of the time in our simulations, they run a speed figure above par, 81%, 81 for this level. And this based upon how fast the race we project it to be, how likely it is to match one of their best performances. In race number 6, Terry, this one is back weighted. So early speed should do pretty good because you can see most of the horses want to be middle back. Horses with some early speed include the 7-horse. Ooh, a little bit of a left arrow horse for Southern Lad. Doesn't need to be on the front. Also an EP, Mogaloo, also likely to be up front. They may just be a little bit patient and let some others, because the 5 and the 10, neither one of them look like they want to be up front. Late speed belongs to Bullet Butch. A little bit quicker than Give It a Go. Pretty good distribution of late speed here. So I think you want to be middle forward in this race based upon the early speed numbers, based upon the late speed numbers. Bullet Butch could be close to the front, Terry. Does have a little bit of a late total pace edge over everybody, about 3/4 of a length. But minus Southern Lad, they're all pretty close to one another in there. I think about 6 or 7 horses you can make a case for in here, Terry. Make your case for your 4.
I like Southern Lad as my top pick. Drops in class today, has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. Number 8, Healy's Hope. Ran second versus Tougher in his last race.
That one scratched out, Terry.
Oh, the 8 scratched?
Yeah, you have it scratched out.
I didn't realize that. Okay, 5, Bullet Bunch is my next pick. He ran second versus similar in his last race. Has the highest last speed rating. Actually tied with another horse. The 3 is my third pick. He finished third versus similar in his last race. Has the highest speed figure at today's distance, and his best dirt speed is fastest among today's starters. The 10 would be my long shot now. Give me back my Bullets, which is let's take a look here why I like that one. Am I in
Well,
the
we're
right?
about to start race number
Okay,
2. So
go ahead. No
well,
bet
race
for
number
me.
2 is getting ready to go real quick. I have Bullet Butch, semi-favorite, par plus strong C-zone, faster early. The 3-horse large, going to be closing with the most back class. 2, give it a go. We're going to give it a go. We're a horse that upped its speed figure 3 races in a row. Again, according to Barry Meadows, that is an alpha angle that wins at 15% or more and did tie for the top last race speed figure. And then Dr. Doom, boom, pop goes right in that one here on a class dropper. And they're off and running in race number 2, Terry. So right now it looks like the 3-horse is on the lead. Union Reward, one of the horses that we thought would be close to the front. The 4-horse Affy Kid or AFY Kid, that one's sitting in second place. They go through the opening quarter, 24-4, a little bit slower than the prior start. So maybe those two can hang in up there. The 2-horse Bad Bobby sitting in third. And then down on the rail, we have the 6-horse. Tequila made me do it. Tequila always made me do it when I was younger and had those bad habits. Exclusive order trying to make its way as they really slowed down in that second half, Terry, down to 50.3. It's going to be tough, I think, to really run down those front 2 horses with a 50.3 in the opening half, but we shall find out. The 4 has inched its way in front of the 3-horse Union Reward. The 2 horses jockeys asking him to go, so let's see if he responds. 3 horses kind of biting down, though, Terry. Going to make the 4 work for that W in there at 3 to 5 odds. We'll see if he can run that race too wide all the way around and get the job done. He has kind of edged his way out in front of the 3. The jockey on the 4 is Maddie Rowland, our friend Maddie. Hasn't really asked her horse to go yet. And she's trying to wiggle it to go out straight a little bit because the horse was looking like it was tiring a little. But this 4-horse, Terry, is going to win by, just a matter of lengths is all that's going to count right here, right?
Yeah.
I think it's going to be the 1-horse that splits horses and finishes second in there. I think that's what's going to happen. I think it's going to go 4, 1, 2, 3. 4, 1, 2, 3. So the inside horse is doing right there. Terry, you and I both singling up the 4 to start our pick 4s. And that one came through like a 3 to 5 should.
All right.
Yeah, and we saw here too with that horse, that strong C-zone, the only one with the strong par plus, the only one, and just totally demolishing that field for Maddie, who is a great young lady. I got the opportunity to meet her down in Tampa about this time last year. So I hope she has a lot of success while she's up in Van Salem, Terry. She was a wonderful guest too when we had her on Horse
She
Center.
was, yeah.
Yeah, she absolutely was. We wish her nothing but the best. Like to see her win on something other than 3 to 5, though, to start at pick 4, Terry. But we did the right thing. You either have to take the 3 to 5 and single it, or you got to toss it out and pick something else. We both chose the single route, and well, we're happy for it. What's happening in the luckiest race of the day?
That's right. Okay, so number 7 race is a race. Let's see. Let me click on here. It's 6.5 furlongs, optional claiming for $16,000 claiming price. If you put your horse in there to be claimed, it's purse $32,000 for 4-year-olds and upward, which have started for a claiming price of $12,500 or less since January 8, 2022, or a claiming price of $16,000.
Yes, you can see this one's not in for a claim. No money number there. Is anybody in for a claim in here, Terry? I don't know if there was. I thought there was a lot of pretty horses basically. Yeah, no one's in for a price today. They're all in for a check, trying to find that winner circle. 6.5 furlongs. Profile of a winner favors early speed, 32%. So almost 1 out of 3 go wire to wire. Got an inside bonus for Colonel Vargo, nay Dude, and Causes Trouble. That's our good friend Terry there. 4 through 7, a little bit of a discount. 8 and out, they do get a bonus. So be on the inside or be on the outside and be fast. Terry, again, you are the fastest of the bunch.
That's right. This 3 really, really looks speedy. So, and then the 1 shows a small overlay from about 6 to 5 to 5 to 2. Par numbers all but number 1. All of them look good, but look at number 1. That's really nice.
Yeah, 100% chance. I don't think there's ever a 100% chance, but in our simulation, every single time we ran it, it came up above par, and par for this level is 87. So
wow. And then the 1, 4, 6, and 7 have the best C-zone numbers.
It almost looks like we should just single up the one and move on to the next race, but we both kind of didn't do that. So let's see why where some of that thinking comes in. This 3-horse over here causes trouble, Terry. Could be Lone E. Everybody else wants to be middle back. If causes trouble gets to the front by itself, could cause trouble for our picks. Does look like it's a little bit of the quickest horse, although Colonel Vargo, along with Marsour, those two should be sitting in second and third, which is kind of what the graph says they want to do. Late speed, if they all go too fast, Spear Gun has 5 points or 1 length advantage over the lone closer, Nay Dude. They should be neck and neck, so you have to give Spear Gun a little bit of an edge at the end of the race. Finally, our top total pace, you got Colonel Vargo, causes trouble, Marsour, Spear Gun, about a length better than the rest of the field, although only 10 points separating the first from the worst. Again, that's a misstep, getting blocked, got to run wide. That could be the difference between first and worst. Terry, we both started, well, you copied me.
You think I did, huh? Anyway,
yes, I know. I don't think. I know.
I like that 7 is my top pick. I'm sorry, we're in the 6th race or the 7th?
7th race. You have the 7th
yeah.
on top, huh?
Yeah, I like that 7 is my top pick. Won 6 out of the last 7 races and has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. Colonel Vargo is the 1, is my second choice, won 2 races in a row, then finished 3rd versus similar to his last race, but he had problems in that race. So he also has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey, causes trouble. The 3 likes Parx Racing, finished in the money 77% of the time, won 39% of those starts. And he's been in the money at this distance 85% of the time, winning 29% of the starts. I like the 4 as my long shot. He ran 2nd in his last race and has the highest speed figure at today's distance. His best dirt speed is fastest among today's starters. I'm going to play 50-cent pick 4. I'm going to use the 1-7 with the 3-4-7 with the 2, and then the single with the 3. And then I'm going to play a $3 pick 3. I'm going to use the 3-4-7, single with the 2, and then single with the 3.
Some confidence in the back end of the card there. Scary Creation saying this is a 2-horse race between the 1 and the 7. Trevin loves the track, and the 1-horse track dropper, Jacobson, the trainer, sends it to town. I like the I like those 2 horses too. Marsour unbeaten in 3 at the distance, and as Scary mentioned, loves Parx, winning 7 out of 14. Colonel Vargo is a track dropper, winner 5 of 7 on fast track with a 2nd and a 3rd there. The only question is, it's I'm going to try Parx for the first time, and as you mentioned earlier, Scary, some horses like it, some don't. Causes trouble. That one's going to be forward as a potential Lone E. And every now and then, Terry, that horse tosses in a huge mid-move. So if he can get to the front and then maybe create some separation going around the turn, might be able to hang on at the wire. Johnny Ritt, the 4-horse, has the most back class in the field. And at times, this one can get out and show some early speed that looks like a stakes level horse, not a $16,000 optional claimer type. $1 50-cent pick 4. I'm sorry, Terry. 1-3-7. I'm going to single the 3 in the next reg and then go 2, 6, 7, 8 over to 1, 3, 11, and 12. You have clarity in the back. I didn't seem to have any back there. So yeah, I was kind of looking at it from 2 completely different lenses, I guess.
Yeah.
All right, next for you. Oh, I got to pick 4. I mentioned my pick 4 in there. All right, so now we're going to do the last 3 races in here, Terry, starting off in race number 8.
Yeah, race number 8 is the 6 furlongs, another optional claiming race at $16,000 claiming price if you put your horse in there for that. Purse $50,000 for 4-year-olds and upward, which have never won a race other than a maiden claiming starter or a state bred, or which have never won 2 races, or claiming price is $16,000.
6 furlongs, the most common distance at Parx. You do have tactical speed, but still 37% do win going wire to wire. Well, post positions 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, they all win at similar rates. Get a little bit of a bonus if you're lucky enough to wear a higher number than 8, but there's only 7 horses, I think, in this field. No, 8 horses. So Mr. Dota maybe can take advantage of that little bit of late edge in there, Terry. Once again, we do see one in here that looks a little bit faster than the rest.
Yeah, that 3 has the most speed, but the 7 has some. So if the 3 has any problems, that 7 might get to that quarter pole first. The 3 has an overlay of 5-2 to 7-2, and the 7 has an overlay from about 6-5 to 3-1. Par numbers 3, 7, 8, and 4. So par numbers, and again, there's a 100%er on that 3. And then the C zones, the 1, 2, 4, 7, and 8 have good C zone numbers.
100% on winning time. Well, again, I don't profess there's anything that's 100% in horse racing for anything. Except 100%, somebody's going to be happy and somebody's not. So you got a bunch that have 4 that want to be in the front, 3 that have a little bit of versatility, and then a lone closer in there. So speed of the speed early on, that could be where you want to be. And look, there's that 3 horse, that 101, Terry. Anytime you breach triple digits, that is stakes caliber stuff out of the gate. Question is, what does the horse have when the race is coming to a close? Well, Struger has the most of it at the end, although minus Burn the Evidence, everybody else pretty similar late speed in there. So I would want to be middle forward with a little bit of a late kick if you can. Winning time, along with Cold Feet, the 3 and 7. We talked about the 1 and the 7 being a 2-horse race last time out. Looks like we might get the same thing in race number 8. Terry, a replay. You like the 3, I like the 3, you like the 7, except, this time you decided to put the 2 at the end.
You put the what now? The 2?
The 2 at the end instead of the 1. But anyway, go ahead. Why did you pick the 3, 7, 4?
Because
aside from pretending you want to be the president of Harvard.
Yeah, well, he won 2 out of 3 career races, drops in class today, has a high percentage winning trainer. This trainer wins 22% of the allowance races he has a horse competing in, and he has a high percentage winning jockey. The 7 Cold Feet ran second versus similar to his last race. He has a high speed figure at today's distance. His best start speed is fastest among today's starters. He has a trainer copy jockey combination who in the last 14 days have won 2 out of 2 starts. Stugar is number 4, won his last race at Parx Racing, has the highest last speed rating, and he has a high percentage winning jockey and trainer. And then Keith Senshell, or whatever.
Keith sends hello.
Oh, hello. There we go.
Yeah, a little bit echo.
Number 2. Well, he's my long shot, finished in the money in 11 out of 13 races at Parx. We're winning one of those races and can improve while returning to a sprint. No bet for me in this race.
So the 3-horse winning time, this guy's been on the sidelines for more than a year, Terry. But when you look through those workouts, the last 2 were bullet. They're fast bullets too. So double bullet and go back to work, taking a major class drop as well. If the horse is ready, I think he can make easy work of this group. Pay attention to the odds early on, especially. If the early money just really hammers that horse, look out. Could win at a low price. Number 7, Cold Feet, plenty of early speed, does have the most back class in this field, Terry. Cutting back from 6.5 furlongs to 6 furlongs could be beneficial. Stugar, you got Jamie Ness, you have Frankie Pennington, winning at 31% together. That's a good number for a horse that tied for the top last race speed figure. And is the lone closer, could perhaps find itself in a good pace setup. Midlander, the 1 horse, my final choice in here. By far the best C-zone scorer, Terry. I think almost as much as the rest combined in there. Nice works for a horse that's going to make its first race since May. So should be fresh today. According to the works, should be fit too. Trifecta 3-7 over the 3-4-7, over the 1, the 2, the 3, the 4, and the 7, which brings us to race number 9. Hey, Barry Knight. Hey, explain back class. In my view, what is back class, Terry? What is your back class in your view?
Well, I couldn't hear you. What'd you say?
Back class, in your view, how do you define back class?
Oh, it depends on kind of races it was running before, if that's what you mean.
Yeah, I look at a couple different things for back class. I do look at higher levels, as Scary Creation says, but one of the other things I want to see too in the back class, so like a horse that's kind of struggled. So when I'm looking for, because speed figures is one of the good ways to rank it, but you're also looking at the kind of races that it ran in. So if a horse has like I don't think there's a case in here, but say the horse had 105 5 races ago, and nobody else has topped 85 or 90, so it has that big of a potential speed figure. I consider that into my back class considerations as well. I look. Those are the 2 things I look at: higher level, and for a speed figure or 2 or maybe even 3 that is higher than the best that anything else is put on the table in the last 10. So that's how I define it.
All righty.
All right. So 2 races to go. So for the late daily double, going to start in race number 9 as we go back to some routes, Terry.
Yeah, it's a mile and 70 optional claiming again. It's $16,000 claiming price. Put your horse in there for it at first 50,000. Fillies and mares, 4-year-olds and upward, which have never won a race other than maiden claiming starter or state bred, or which have never won 2 races or a claiming race for 16,000.
I should also note when I look at horses that are running, like say, they ran in a grade 3, and so that no other horse is running a graded race, but it finished 41 lengths off the. I don't consider that. I consider that a misplaced horse, not necessarily one with back class.
Yeah, I agree with you. Has to be a little bit, at least a little bit competitive in a race like that.
Yeah, I'd like to see it in the finish in the first half of the field. So if it's a 10-horse field, I want it to finish 5th or better.
Yeah.
If it's a close 6th, sometimes you'll see a race where 7 horses finish in within a length and a half, 2 lengths of the winner. Mm-hmm. Then I'm willing to go a little bit past that midpoint mark as well. Race number 9 at a mile and 70 yards. Earlier on in the day, we mentioned that it does favor early speed 28% of the time. Gate to wire winners. A little bit of a small rail edge for Ginger's Witch. Everybody else pretty fair with the post positions, Terry. So some speed could be helpful again. And again, we find another one that's just a little bit quicker than the rest.
Yeah, Comedy Act, the 8 has the most speed.
Which is our show at times, right?
That's right. Should be too. Yeah. The 2 shows an overlay from about, 4 to 5, 3 to 5 to 5 to 2. Par numbers 2 has decent par numbers, followed with the 6 and the 7. And then all but the 1 and 3 show pretty darn decent C-zone numbers.
Yeah, this 2-horse Abadale, you can see perhaps why Terry singled that one. 53% chance that it will run a par score above 87, which is the average winner for that condition. Strong C-zone should be pretty comfortable in this race as well, Terry. Let's see if that's how it shows up in the pace handicapping. Well, most of this field wants to be middle or back. 4 and a 6 could get an edge. If I remember correctly, neither one of them is likely to be on the lead. No, in fact, they're middle of the pack types. So maybe some fake speed out of those 2, jump out to the front and then fade. Comedy Act and Emirates Affair, those 2 are going to be a little bit quicker than everybody else. It looks like about a length and a half more speed. Even though they're on the outside, a lot of the inside horses, not a lot of pace there. They should be able to clear, Terry. On the way home, the 1-horse, Ginger's Wish, the closer, along with Abadale, that 2-horse. They're considerably faster, about 9 points better than everybody else. And not all that far off the pace in this group here either, Terry. So those late legs could really be useful at the end. Abadale is 5-point total pace favorite. So according to total pace, should be a 1-length winner, Terry. You are putting it on top, as am I, and you singled it in your pick 4.
That's right. It's my play of the day at Parx Racing. The 2, Abadale, won 2 races in a row and now going for a hat trick as a high percentage winning trainer jockey. Number 6, Linda Loves Gold is my second choice. Finished second in her last race. Has the highest speed figure today's distance. Her best dirt speed is fast among today's starters. Emirates Affair, the 9 is my third shot.
I think that one's scratched too, Terry.
Oh, isn't the 9 scratched? When did that happen?
That's what you have written out of there. It doesn't look like the 9. I think it's supposed to be the 5 that's scratched.
Yeah, the 5 is scratched. ET's.
Yeah, that one's not scratched.
All right. I made a mistake there. Anyway, well, it's my third pick. She has finished in the money in 7 out of the last 8 races, winning one of those races. Has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. Comedy Act is my long shot, number 8. Won her last race, Parx Racing. Has a high percentage winning trainer who wins 29% of the races when dropping a horse off a win, and has a high percentage winning jockey. I'm going to bet 20 to win on the 2. I'm going to bet a $4 daily double from the 2 to the 3.
Hey, I have the 2-horse Abadale, simulation favorite, top par plus, strong C-zone, does have the top 5 total pace. The 8-horse Comedy Act runs well off the bench like today. 3 good workouts getting prepped. And once again, we see that 31% combo in Jamie Ness and Frankie Pennington. Linda Loves Gold. That one is my third pick. Drops in class. Not in for a price today, Terry. And this is one of those horses where I feel that has the most back class in the field. And then finally, Girls from Outer Space. Consistent performer that ran faster by about 2.5 seconds. Last time around the track, Terry. That's a pretty good indication of a horse that's getting into shape. 268 over the 28, over the 2678, and number 10 for my trifecta. One race left to go, Terry. Race number 10. Do we have enough time to squeeze this one in?
Oh, we do. Yeah, I'm sure
All
we
right,
do.
beautiful.
So
Tell us
let's
about
see.
it.
It's a 5.5 furlong. It's a claiming race, 5,000, purse 18,000 for 4-year-olds and upwards, which have not won a race since July 8th.
And then as far as 5.5 furlongs, early speed does pretty good. 44% of the time, it's good enough to get to the front, stay to the front, and just enter the winner's circle for a photo. The post positions, as far as that's concerned, in the short sprint, a little bit of a rail bonus for extreme force. 2 and 3 play fair. 4 and 7, they get squeezed. And then again, if you're on the outside, speed's useful. In the final race of the day, Terry, we got a lot of horses in this one, and you managed to go a single in here. But congratulations on that. But one of them is a little bit faster than the rest.
That's right. That 7 shows the most speed. The 3, 9, and 10 shows some other speed. None of them have any kind of an overlay. The 3 and the 1 are the only 2 that have any par numbers, and most of these have C-zone numbers. So,
yeah, a lot of good C-zone stuff in here. As far as our last time, we'll take a look at the race shape. You got the 1, the 3, and the 9. They want to close. 2, 4, 5, 6, and 7. They're pressure closer types, so nobody really wants to be up to the front. Get to the front, Terry, and you probably got a good shot to win this race, I would suspect. Looking at that, Train to Artemis. That one's a little bit faster than the rest. Baystorm going to be right there, too, along with Quora Comet. Yeah, those 3 probably have the best chance to get to the lead. At the end of the race, Wakanaka, there you go, try to say that one 10 times fast, has a lot of late speed in there, Terry, but could be way off. It could be as 4, 5, 6 lengths off the front there, Terry. Doesn't have a 4 or 5, 6 length late speed advantage. So that one's going to have to move closer than where it's been so far, I think, to utilize that advantage. Finally, Baystorm, 3 points clear. But you have all these horses down here. That's why I had a hard time just singling up any one of these horses in here, Terry, because I think this one's going to be wide open at the end. You don't think so. You have a clean-cut winner in here.
yeah, I like Wakanaka. He ran second versus similar in his last race, has a high percentage.
I had the wrong race in there, Terry. Look, this is race 10. I was wondering where all those numbers came from.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. I've got race 11.
So
let's do that again.
All right.
Pretty balanced in here, Terry, in this race here. You got 3, 4 on the front, 2 in the back, 3 in the middle. So this is a case where maybe a little bit too much pace up front. You have Extreme Force, Diesel, Shackle Cat, all of them in here, right in there, tight mix in there, Terry. So I think sitting in the middle with some late speed could be useful in here. That might be Diesel, the 3 horse in there. Primordial Fear does have a Primordial Fear. Has the most late speed, about a length better than everybody else. Our top total pace horses, 3 of them. The 3, the 1, and the 11, Terry, 7 points clear of the rest of the field. If you're a pace player, you can have a 3, 1, 11 exacta trifecta box. Now, tell me about your field.
Yeah, I was confused for a minute there. Number 3,
I think I'm just that way, period.
It's not hard to make me confused. But anyway, number 3, Diesel is my first pick. Ran second versus similar in his last race, has the highest speed figure at today's distance, has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. Our Good Time Charlie, the 9, is my second choice. Likes Parx Racing, finishing in the money 63% of the races, winning 36% of the time. And he's finished in the money at 63% of the time at today's distance. Number 7, Shackle Cat's my third pick, having a good career, finishing in the money 55% of the races and winning 28% of those starts. He has a high percentage winning jockey and trainer. And then Extreme Force, the 1, is my long shot. He ran 6 versus similar his last race, but he steadied on the far turn. And the Rail Post is winning a 20% clip. He has a high percentage winning jockey. He's my long shot. And then I'm going to make a $10 bet on number 3, which is my last $10.
So you have here, shocked that Rich left the winner out of race 10. Paco wires the field and collects his money. So I'm guessing Paco is going to probably be on that 7 horse, if I remember correctly. Yes, I wasn't a big fan of this effort right here. But of course, that was way back in October. Workout since then, that's a pretty nice workout. Only one of them since that workout. And coming off the bench here, you got a W there. That did go wire to wire. Got a W here as well. The last 2 times, and then a W there. So 3 out of 3 on that winning angle coming off the bench. So I think I have it as my actually my 5th pick. I was kind of fighting with that one for a couple different reasons. And I can't recall why when I was putting him in there. That's not even in my next pick. That's pretty interesting. I wonder what the hell I was thinking. Anyway, I do have Diesel also as my second pick in here. I have the one horse as my first pick, Extreme Force. That was going to ride the hot rail. Been off for almost a year. And the horse does have some solid back class. Diesel is the top par plus horse in this race, Terry. Mostly good off the bench. A pair of good workouts as well. Number 12, Portal One. Third race in a row. So third off a layoff. Going to drop in class. And what's interesting about this 12 horse, Terry, is it looks like garbage in the last two races, right?
Yeah.
12 horse. And it's easy to run away from that one. Look, garbage race. Maddie, who's won a race already today on top of here. Going to drop in class. But look what the horse did back here. Pretty much it was an okay first start, but then garbage after that. Then on that third race, dropped in class and won easy. So maybe it can repeat that cycle there. That's what I was thinking about. And then finally, I have the 11-horse Primordial Fear closer with one of the best total pace horses. I'm probably going to regret not having the 7 in my picks, going wire to wire, coming off the bench 3 times in a row to win wire to wire with Scary Creations and a horse that does look like it's going to be on the lead. Probably going to get to the front and stay in the front, Terry. Blow up both of our pick fours. I have a trifecta 1, 3, 12, 1, 3. I'm just gonna leave it be that as it may, right? What's your best bet today, Scary Creation? Who you like the most? He had that back in, let's see. I talked about it a little bit earlier in the day, right? His best bet of the day.
It was.
Wasn't it like the 10 horse, I think, if I remember correctly? Yes.
Yeah, it was a 10.
And Sonnet's name, best bet of the day, Couple Life. And that's coming up in race number
3.
5, race number 5, the 10 horse. Okay. There you go. To answer your question, Barry, you gonna put 5 hundo on that one? All right. So thank you to Beverly Taylor for the thumbs up on Facebook. If you're as smart as Beverly Taylor is, you'll give us a thumb up on Facebook as well as retweet our stuff on Twitter, copy and paste the share link from YouTube, and share it with all your friends on all of your social sites. Here are all of our picks for the rest of the day at Parx, Terry. Let's see, how long do we have to this race? They're about ready to go. So let's see what happens in race number 3, and then we'll wrap it up.
Okay.
What do you say?
Sounds good.
I agree. I got burned last time on the 5 hundo. Yeah. I was been going to a couple live contests and talking to some people on how they do that. And the $500 thing, they said they just put it all on one horse to win. And then from there, they navigate their way through the rest of the day if they do all right. And again, Scary, just reiterating, race number 5, number 10 is the horse to take a look at there. Race number 3, about to get cracking, Terry. Right now, the 3 horse is your 4 to 5 favorite. I think that's what the MSW dropper, is that right?
Yep.
If I remember correctly. Yeah, maybe too much early speed, total pace plus 10, and your maiden special weight dropper. My single, too, in my pick 4 as well. So I went single. Then the 6 horses next. Yeah, the 3 horses down to 3 to 5 now. Morning line was 9 to 5. Got off to a decent start. The 5 and the 1 kind of sluggish starts. The 3 and the 2 have gone to the lead as they passed the finish line for the first time. But the 3 horse getting a pretty easy lead there, Jetstream, Terry. On the front, the 7 horse. Jamaican Me Hazel is in second place right now at 50 to 1. The 2 horse at 45 to 1, her ticket to ride. Sitting in third. And to the outside, the second favorite, Snow Lake, is the 3 horse, is about a 2-length lead off everybody else. And this is something I do not understand for the life of me, Terry. You got a 3-length lead on the class drop, going off at 1 to 5, and Abner Adoro going out in 23 and change. Yeah. I, for the life of me, don't understand why you do that. You know what I'm saying?
I do, yeah.
He might run away from this field, but there's no reason to go out in 23 and 2. He could have gone out and say 24 and a half and probably still had a length and a half lead over everybody.
Yeah.
They went through the half in 48, and I still think for this level, a little bit on the quick side. So, I mean, the horse is drawing off from everybody right now. It looks like only the 6 horse has a chance to run this one down on the lane. But I'm still wondering if that horse went too fast. Because because the 6 horse is making up a lot of ground as they come around the turn here. And I honestly don't think you need to be that far out in front by yourself where you need to run those kind of fractions. You know what I'm saying?
I do, yeah.
Because the 6 is bearing down on him pretty aggressively. I don't know that he's going to catch him, but it's going to be a lot closer than I feel like it needs to be at the wire, as this horse is tiring badly at the end. Just get out to that lead, ran some fractions, and did win at 3-5. So
He did win.
6, big gap then to the 1 and then the 2. 3, 6, 1, and 2. So
Yeah, he
my
went
$2
off,
exactly with the 2 favorites.
went off at 1-5, didn't he?
Yeah, some late money coming in, and it's another thing I feel like they got to get rid of. No,
Yeah,
I think horse racing needs to stop that syndicate money from just battering odds.
yeah,
at
it's
post time.
frustrating to say the least. So
for sure.
Well,
All right, Mr. Terry. Well, that wraps us up for today. Again, here are our total picks for the day. Any final thoughts from you before you and I get out of here and come back tomorrow to do the same thing at the same track and complain about a guy getting a 6, 7, 8 lead and then winning?
No, I just want to say that if you like what you saw, and I know you did, please subscribe to the YouTube channel and hit the bell to be notified anytime that we have shows coming up. And then go down and copy the link and send it to your friends, share it with your friends and neighbors and relatives. And then go to our social sites such as X, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, Threads at Horse Race, the number 2 day, and give us a thumbs up and a like. Also, have a great rest of the week and be careful.
So Barry's asking about syndicate money. I don't mean for people to think that's like mob money. It may be. I have no idea where it comes from. But essentially what happens in horse racing is you have these people with computer models, and they have much bigger bankrolls than the rest of us, sort of like a brokerage firm, if you will. They run these computer models and they get, for lack of a better term, again, preferential treatment, like direct access into the totes. So their computers run these simulations kind of like ours do. And if they feel like there's not fair odds on a horse, so their computer says a horse should be, let's say 2-5 is what the fair odds are. And the odds are anything above that. Right before post, they hit that button and the computer automatically sends the money in, big money. And then they get rebated on that money too, which I think needs to be seriously looked at as well. So they bet a lot of money, and then the people who they bet through, they actually get rebates back. That's what that syndicate money is, right? Yeah, they're not supposed to bet at the top of the stretch, but that's really what syndicate money is. It's a consortium of people with a bigger bank account that they electronically do just about everything. And then again, if their simulations say that the horse is undervalued, you're going to see a ton of money come in right at the end, because they're looking for what they're specifically looking for, like we do with our par plus numbers, is they're looking for, like we do with our simulated odds. So for example, Jet's Dream, it didn't really fit the bill there. Mamma Mia Estrina might have fit the bill there. So the post time odds essentially were way higher than their simulated odds. And as a result, they came in and they hammered it at the end. So that's what syndicate money does. And in New York, they don't allow those bigger pools of money to come in and bet 5 minutes. The last bet they can make is 5 minutes to post. Personally, I'd be okay with 2 minutes or even 1 minute post to break them down, Terry.
Yeah.
But I think allowing them, especially like when you see, like in that race, the horse went from 4-5 to 1-5 in a tick because a big flood of money came in off of computers, because human beings can't press enter that fast.
No.
Right. I've seen horses go off at 10-1 and then win 2 to 3-1. How do you explain that? That's going to be small money pools, right? So you're going to have a track like Charlestown where maybe they're having $10,000, $12,000, $15,000 bet in total on to win, and then boom, in comes a $10,000 bet on one horse to win. It totally alters the money pool, and if all that money goes to one horse, it's going to shift the odds a lot because of the disproportionate amount of money relative to the rest of the money bet on horses to win. And that's why I feel like New York has got this right, and other states need to change it. I mean, I've seen at Charlestown, just off the top of my head, not singling them out, just one I remember the most, where I've had a horse go in the gate at 3-1. And then as the horse is running around the track, you see the numbers drop all the way to like 3/4 of a mile. This is 2024 now, folks. There's no reason for that. Computer stuff is instantaneous, right? The money comes in, those odds should change like that. It shouldn't take them a minute to change from, to calculate the new odds with that late money coming in. It is one of those things. I think if horse racing wants to improve its reputation, I think it needs to correct at these tracks that allow that late syndicate money to just absolutely obliterate odds as it looks like the race is running. Do you agree with that, Terry?
I do. Yeah, I certainly do.
I wholeheartedly do too. So well, a lot of the folks who are watching probably agree with that because we're betting on the races. I hope the folks that actually manage the sport are paying attention to, because we are your consumer. We're out here advocating for the sport, doing our part, do your part. I don't mean to rant, but so be it. All right, Terry, no matter what you're doing for the rest of this day, if you're ranting at people who run your life, go get them. But otherwise, we hope that you have God's grace, God's favor, and every single thing that you do ends up in our favorite place, Terry.
That is the winner's circle.
Yeah, again, thanks for joining us on this Money Monday. Terry and I look forward to joining you on terrific Terry Hay Tuesday.